Hey friends, hello everyone. Today I went out to fish for pike using LiveBait. I'll share all my secrets with you. We're going to catch pike using homemade, very simple tackle. I'll show you how to do it very easily so you can go out and definitely catch this beautiful predator. I'll tell you why I feed the pike and how I choose the spots. Fishing spots, about LiveBait, about tackles, and how to tie it all together. In general, I hope it will be interesting. Let's head to the water already. So let's get started. We took the LiveBait and took the tackle. And let's go. Below we will now untie everything and show you how, what and why bait is needed when fishing for pike. First of all, when I just come to the pond, well, it is clear that I will visually assess the situation, the weather, whether there are fry, their quantity. First of all, we need to know if there is a food source for the fish. If there are fry like small bait fish, then pike will definitely be around. It's always there. We're going to set up a float here. And if there aren't many fish, or if they're not very active like right now since it's late autumn, I stimulate them, so to speak, with bait. I feed a little bit at each point where I see a promising place. The fry start to stir, the fish become active, and even the most passive pike will come out to see what's going on. I'm taking a little water and mixing in just half a pack. We don't need a lot of bait today. Someone might say that this is some kind of foolishness. Feeding the pike, right. But we are feeding, not the pike, but, as I said, the fry that are circling around here. And when we start baiting, the pike comes over on its own. I realized all this when I was catching perch with LiveBait. When I was catching perch with LiveBait, I constantly did such manipulations. A lot of fry swam up, and kettles of perch once arrived at once. And I thought, why not try this for pike? Yeah guys, it really works. And now I'm going to the spots that I think are the most promising, and I'm lightly baiting them. We have about 10 to 20 minutes while I set up my gear. So I'll tell you about this. The fish will come there, and the pike will start to become active. It's an interesting spot. Little bit. There's the bait. Last time I broke a spot in the reeds so that I could effectively catch pike here on this fishing trip. You see, I cleared it out and now we can bait it. You see, I broke it off. We'll bait it, and here, a little bit of bait over there. LiveBait. Today we're going to catch some crucian carp. We were fishing for them about a month ago, somewhere near the shallows. And now we're going to step over the bucket a bit and start fishing with you. How cute. Here's our LiveBait. Yeah, here they are. These are such gorgeous crucian carp. I catch pike with all sorts of gear. I catch them with pole rods and float rods. But at this pond, I'm using this kind of bottom rod. It's about the length. It's good to cast from the edge, and you can do it. A long cast about 30 meters with a crucian carp. Floats, I make them myself. I make them from wine corks or champagne corks. This is the best material, cork wood. It's very buoyant. It can hold any live bait. And it's an inconspicuous and quite lightweight float. It turns out to be a natural color. Next, everything is very simple for me. There's a sliding weight, a fluorocarbon leader, a swivel, and a hook. Today, in this spot, I'm using a single hook. Here's a big hook like this. Why a single hook and not a double or treble hook? Friends, the thing is, there are a lot of reeds here, reeds underwater, a lot of grass, and treble hooks. I usually use it in the river where I know for sure that the bottom is clean. The depth here is quite shallow, and so that our zečivec doesn't get too worked up, it turns out the hook gets caught in the grass or somewhere else. That's why I use a single hook. The effectiveness of using a single hook when fishing for pike is quite high. It's also really great for catching. There are misses, of course, but very, very rarely. I give the pike a few seconds, 5 to 7 seconds after the bite, when the float has gone to the bottom so it can swallow the live bait, and it hooks that single hook very deep in its mouth and almost always gets caught. We're going for the bait, and we take a nice sized one without hesitation. And we thread it under the fin. Not by the fin, but under the top fin. Like this. So shall we try to catch the first pike? A precise cast. Not too far. Just right at the edge. And our little float. You can even see how it's circling. There it is, swimming right in front of us. Our live bait is acting up. We push it in every time. Let it swim and the pike will work. Don't be shy. To the left, to the right. We're casting all around the perimeter. 5 minutes at each spot. There. There's a bite right away. The pike. There was a bite we cast out, and right away there was a strike just after we threw it in a new spot. So, it started to take the line, and we're reeling it in. The pike got off. It was on, and then it got off. The hook is in place, the hook is in place. That was a miss. We just made the cast ourselves. We moved to a new spot, and there was a bite right away, just like I told you.
As for the live bait?
Right now, it's better to use a larger live bait. Don't be afraid of that. The pike is not very active right now. And the live bait is small. Maybe just steal it to the right for a bite. So don't worry, use more live bait. Even a small pike weighing about 1 kilogram will happily gobble it up. Catch pike near the reeds. Closer to the shore. She will always be there. These are the best places. She's hiding there looking for small fish. And very often along the reeds themselves, there are bites. Where are you going to work? He took it and flew off. Yes. There's a bite. We're waiting and setting the hook. There's a pike. This time I've got one. She won't get away. Ah, she got away. I just said she wouldn't get away. And she got away. Whatever you take is bad. Today. I just told you that everything is great with a single hook. And now this mess. I broke in a new spot. Just a moment. There should definitely be a pike on it, I think. But today, it's just one big streak of bad luck. I've already missed so many fish. 3 big adult pikes. I can really feel by the resistance how she's holding on, that she's a good one, just standing there. Not small, oh man. Ah, alright, let's give it a try. Let's keep fishing. We're going to cast straight over there now. And we're watching it. Pikes have their regular spots, resting places, and pathways. Pike, their trails as it's called. Now if you find yourself on these paths, and if you catch one pike, then another one the same day, and the next day you catch a pike in the same spot, then that's definitely its resting place or trail. You can go to this place, catch, well, literally guys, for a whole month, I want to tell you. You can keep going to that spot, and you'll always have fish there. Yes, but at first there will be a lot of them. Then they will gradually start to dwindle, of course. But there will always be pike there for you. You will be able to catch 1 or 2 pike consistently and regularly from the same spot. So you should know that there are trails and campsites. Therefore, you need to walk all the time and fish the entire reservoir. You cast over there, you cast over here, and you will definitely get a bite. Guys, there's a bite. Yes, there's a bite. Yes. Yes. It's on. Whoa. The drag. Come on. Good one. It snagged somewhere over there, but it's coming in. It's coming in. Good. Whoa. Shh, little one, come. Here. And all the fish scatter immediately. Look at that nice toothy one I'm pulling in. I need to grab the net. Quickly, right now. Get her in the net. Come on. Come here. What a beauty, my dear. How lovely you are. And there it is. And in the landing net. Here it is. Ah, good. Nice. Look at this beautiful little one. Just look at it. Super, just amazing. What a fish, just like that. Here the pike took the hook really well. It's got it in its mouth. I waited for it. And finally the fish are coming off. But still, as Ivanich says, this little one is already edible. And the hook is sticking out of its mouth. I got a little hurt somewhere around here. And you can take it out just like this, carefully. Got it. Okay, well, let's use a smaller live bait. Maybe that way it'll swallow it completely right away and won't let go as easily. Let's take a small one. Cast it like this. We start relatively from the edge. When you're fishing near the reeds, the pike usually pulls your live bait, your rig towards you after a bite. So you need to reel in more line and set the hook a bit sharper because it's swimming into the reeds, together with his, so to speak, victim prey, and here he will chew it up. It doesn't swim down deep. It usually swims towards you to hide in those reed branches. In general, I've talked to you about pike fishing many times already, and a lot. We were worried about this. That's everything I could cover, but I want to say a couple more words about leaders. I use a fluorocarbon leader. The weight must definitely be sliding the one in on the main line. Then comes the swivel and length. The leader should be about 30 centimeters. After each pike, we take the leash with our hands like this and try it out. If there are a lot of large burrs and pike teeth left on it, you simply need to change the leash. Otherwise, during the next bite, you'll have an annoying break-off. Well, today I had some fish get away. Yes, the hook. The sharpness is all good, but for some reason, this kind of vision isn't on my side, so to speak. So, using treble hooks, there were a lot of snags and it would have been even worse, that's for sure. I think I scared away more pike when I started pulling out the snagged carpenter through the reeds. So, I think it's better to have a little less fish, but the bites are the most important thing right now. What a nice little pike. Wow. Another one just took the bait right here. I've got it. That's also pretty good. Nothing, Genka, it's like that. It went right into the weeds a bit. Honestly, I was trying to get it out along with the weeds. And in the net. And right away. Let's take the watch here. And carefully like this from the edge. Come here, baby. Come here. You've got snagged, our dear. Whoa. Okay. What a beauty. Look at her. I've tangled everything up that I could. This is how the island is. It's just a gorgeous place. Make a couple more like this and you could actually go fishing. Great, just if there is an active pike, it is in these thickets here on the stumps. It should bite right away. Some people catch pike using live bait with several rods. I did this myself when I was fishing with a float rod, either a whip rod or a regular feeder rod, right? Then it's convenient. You have the length measured, the line doesn't bend too much. A curve, you cast one on the left, one on the right. You have a very short live bait movement because the line is, well, literally 5 to 6 meters, right? The length of a regular rod, and that's it. And here you have it. A resident will be able to swim 10 meters to the left, 10 meters to the right, and keep an eye on such tackle. If you have more than one rod, well, it's quite difficult, especially in places like this where there are reeds and snags, right, guys? That's why I use one rod. It's comfortable enough for me. If there's a pike, it will definitely bite, just like it happened to us today. One of the frequently asked questions is, what depth should you set when fishing with live bait? Friends, pike usually stays on the bottom, but it stands in the reeds, right? You can set the depth so that your crucian carp or your live bait, it swam about 20 centimeters from the surface. So if it's a meter deep, then it's about 80 centimeters to the surface. And in the middle, it shouldn't be swimming, it should be closer to the bottom. If you make the depth too small, one will be crossed out and will constantly get confused. So you need to adjust the depth so that it's about 20 centimeters. So that's the best optimal depth. Then the pike will really think, what, is this little fish crazy, or what? This live bait just swam right into my mouth. And right away it will take the bait. So one of the most important things you need to know when fishing for pike: live bait. How do you use it? Guys, I use crucian carp. It stores well, transports easily, and pike loves it. It's tasty, sweet. I've always had bites on it at all the water bodies. In the river, in the pond, and in the reservoir, you can always catch crucian carp at any time of the year. Whether it's winter, spring, or autumn, this is top notch. Well, then probably comes the roach, maybe the rudder. Someone is fishing for perch and says it's going well. I've never had a pike bite when fishing for perch, I don't know. So that's about live bait. I always fish with crucian carp. I've never had any complaints about it. Thanks to him for that. I hope he didn't have any complaints about me either. About the gear, you can fish like I do with a bottom rod or with a float, using a float rod. Actually, because all the pike, as I showed you today, are standing close by, near the shore, there are practically none of them on distant casts now. It's hard to catch. It stands along the reeds, and with a 5-meter fishing rod, it is convenient to cast, convenient to lift, convenient to adjust the crucian carp, even more convenient than with my donk zakiduha. I also want to give you this advice. When you cast, do it smoothly. So you don't need to throw it hard, so that the crucian carp splashes heavily against the water. No, the crucian carp should land there as smoothly as possible. And when you cast like this, like a regular rod from underneath yourself, it will land smoothly. It won't get injured as much when it hits the surface of the water. And that way the splash against the water won't be so loud. Pike, which, yes, it won't be so scared. Yeah, it's skittish. You can talk quietly, you can rustle quietly, but if you are just coming to a new place, it is better to quietly approach and cast from the edge. We don't fish far from the center, we fish here below us, and any noise or din, the fish is always afraid, especially since it is shallow here. You saw the depth, right? It's only about 30-40 centimeters deep here, and that's how I set the depth, so that the crucian carp swims near the bottom, so always keep quiet while fishing. You always need to be quiet. This doesn't attract unnecessary attention. Neither yours, nor the fish, nor any other fishermen are bothering anyone. This is just another one. Also, don't forget the landing net. When fishing for pike, you'll need a landing net. I had a situation where I took it with me, but I didn't set it up. Yeah, I didn't set up the landing net, so I just came like this, started fishing, casting. And then, bam, I got a bite. And the pike is near the reeds by the steep bank. Well, it was about 1.5 kilograms. That's how it happened. My pike slipped off and got away. Because under the landing net, I'm here and no one knows where to put it. And that situation happened. You need to change the water for the live bait. So you walked around a bit, stirred your water in the bucket, and changed the live bait. When you've cast the live bait about 5-10 times, change it for a new one. It's better to stock up on live bait in larger quantities and change them more often, then you'll have more bites. Fresh live bait always works better because fresh live bait swims excellently and is very active. Why does the pike take our live bait and not the fish that's already there? Yeah, there are a lot of fish there too. Basically, we throw it into the school of fish because our live bait swims chaotically and sluggishly. It's tied to the float and creates these kinds of movements, and all the time he's in shape. It doesn't stay in one place like this white fish here. It keeps swimming all the time. Therefore, the predator sees this from afar. Even this provokes the pike. She sees that something is wrong with the fish. It's kind of sluggish, disoriented. There's something interesting about it, and it will definitely come and attack. After a bite, you need to take a short pause, about 5 seconds. But there are days like this, and I want to tell you from my experience, when the pike takes and she doesn't swallow the bait any further, she just hit and stands there. When you have days like that, you'll understand. You wait and wait, and either it spits it out, or the live bait floats up to the surface, or the hook set and the bites were missed, like what happened to me a lot today. Friends, check it out almost immediately. So, count quickly 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and make a sharp, good hook set. The hook set should be sharp so that the hook pierces her mouth. The hooks need to be sharp, because the pike has a very tough mouth. It's like a box. Like single hooks, if the conditions are tough, there can be losses, as you've seen. Or treble hooks, double hooks would catch much stronger. But the effectiveness is almost 100% because treble hooks really get her.